Yes, hi. Want to welcome you all for this webinar today. I'm so lucky to have two people from SAYFR joining me today. Astrid, which is Head of Analytics, and Johan, which is both the CEO and CTO. I guess that's quite normal when you're in the start of an adventure. So no further ado, I think we should kick it off, and I want to hear a little bit more about SAYFR. So if maybe you, Johan, can give us a little bit of a presentation on that, on the company.
Yes, so thank you, Tuid, and thank you for inviting us here. It's a pleasure to have this discussion with you. So SAYFR is a data company, and our mission and also our passion is saving lives, the environment and value by developing culture. So SAYFR provides, if I can get the next slide there. SAYFR provides safety improvements and incident prevention. That's what our customers will experience when they are working with us. And we do this by being data-driven. So the company has more than 10 million data points on culture and the link between culture and safety. And this is data that is very hard to come by. And it's actually collected for more than 10 years by the founders of SAYFR. And then we leverage this insight in a gamified and engaging way to create culture change, and hence improve the safety for our clients. And we are a small company. We are about 3 years old, based in Oslo. We have 11 employees, and we are growing fast now. So just this year, we signed up customers with several hundred billions of Norwegian kroners of revenues and tens of thousands of employees. These are some of the headline accidents that we are working to prevent. And what is common for a lot of these accidents is that it's human error involved in the accident, and also that the problem or the thing that caused the accident was actually known by the organization prior to this happening. So in other words, these accidents could have been prevented. And SAYFR has a methodology to identify challenges in an organization's culture that can lead to accidents. And we have also a way to learn from failures and also manage failures to prevent kind of small incidents from becoming large accidents. And by this, we also improve safety for our clients. So that means we avoid lives lost due to accidents. We ensure that there is no harm to the environment by preventing accidents that could cause this harm. And because we are seeing extraordinary results, so we improve typically the incident rate by 70 to 80% for our customers, we of course save a lot of value, and it's very value creating for the clients that are working with us. And how do we do this? As you understand by now, we are focusing on culture. So human failure is behind 4 out of 5 accidents that happens. It's a main driver or root cause, and it's impossible to really improve safety level without addressing culture. So that's where we are starting. We are using, gamification and also measurability to make something soft like culture into something that you can measure and actually track your improvements. And we're driving the change and engaging people through the gamification. So by this, we are creating the improvements. And we are seeing very strong results, and we have documented the results. We are leveraging a lot of data and doing advanced analytics on this data. And that is also why I started by calling us a data company. Although we work with something soft like safety and culture, we are really both dependent and working to further develop our data position.
Yeah, that's really impressive. You said you had data from way back, but when you think about, let's say, 1.5 year back, where were you at that time as a company, and why did you decide to go cloud, basically almost from the beginning? And obviously, since I'm super interested in Google Cloud Platform, why did you end up there?
Yeah, so 1.5 years ago, we were at the point where we had developed our digital simulations. So the apps were ready, and we were ready to deploy them with our customers. And we would start to receive a lot of insights and data from people actually playing these apps. We knew that we needed to handle this data, and we also knew that we needed to combine it with all the data we had in our proprietary database to really kind of bring out the value of our culture insights. At the same time, we had signed up blue chip customers that were very concerned about security, compliance, and we had ambitious growth plans for the company. So we also wanted the solution to be scalable. And I think we were left with two main choices. We could either build this ourselves, hire the right people, get them on board, start to deploy a cloud or a hybrid solution, or we could team up with a partner that would know how to do this and avoid the pitfalls. So our choice was to partner and looking at the market and seeing who could meet our requirements. We partnered with you guys too in the Cloud People. And according to the comparison between the two cases for us, we saved at least half the time. So we were able to get in 6 months where it would have taken us more than a year to get. And I think we have better quality, better access to the right competencies, and also we were able to tick the boxes on compliance in a better way than we would have been able to do if we had gone ourselves. But these were kind of more the technical frame. Astrid, you also had some considerations on the analytics side.
Yes, as you said, Johan, we had already a lot of data at that point when we decided to make changes. But the data was stored in a few different places. So in order to do analysis and combine the different data, it took a lot of time for me, especially, to manually do it. And also it was not very efficient use of the time in the company, actually. So that was the sort of first thing that was important. Second, also, as you said, Johan, the launch of the new digital tools, it has actually increased our database significantly every week. So we get a lot of new data points every week. So it was also important to gather all the data into something that is scalable and that we can continue to grow the database that we have, but also to make it easy to process and easy to use to combine the different data and to do all our analysis, also reducing the manual labor and have more script and automatic analysis running on the data every day. Also, we do have customers that are very interested in seeing the results and seeing how they are doing in the games. So going to Cloud Platform, we were also able to connect the data to Data Studio and visualize the data in an easy way. That's easy and readable for the customer, but also easy for us to look into the data and do more analysis using that tool. So that was mainly the three most important points. It was to gather all the data into one database, to reduce the time spent and the effort spent, maybe, and also to continue to do the analysis in a more automatic way every day, but also to visualize the data, both for a customer and for ourselves.
Yeah.
So that was important.
Yeah, you already also mentioned that, or Johan, that you reduced the time, let's say the time to market significantly. But I was wondering, is like you already have a state-of-art solution up and running, and as you said, you didn't have a huge team with technology people, consultants, etc. So how did you basically do that? Did it work out the way you actually, let's say, saw it on planned when you started out?
Yes, so I agree with you. I think now it's really a state-of-the-art platform. So we are, quite proud that it's completely serverless and it's infrastructure as code and all of these things. But in a way, I think it's also a treat to be able to start from scratch. So when we decided to set up the platform, we had a blank sheet and we could do it pretty much the way we wanted to do. No kind of legacy to restrict us. So that was a very good starting point. Then I have some experience from previously where we actually made the migration from an on-prem setup of a large database to a hybrid cloud setup. So we had some experience in how to do that and what were the challenges going to the cloud. We invested a lot actually in getting it right from the start. So we used our network and talked to some of the best experts in the field to have kind of the architecture done correctly. We also got a lot of help from cloud people, and I think that's also a bit of strength of your model, that you can access really competent architecture people for a little bit of the time, and then you have other people that can kind of help to implement the solution. So I think it was a journey, but it was a conscious choice to get it right, and we had all the opportunity to do it with the support around us and kind of our goal and ambition clearly stated.
Yeah, obviously, to hear moving from on-prem to the cloud is music in my ears, obviously. But yeah, of course, your company, as you said, and you, Astrid, it's the data is basically the gold, the big value of the company, obviously. And when you decided to use the cloud, there is a lot of people that's afraid of the word. Even they think they have to have the servers on-prem, basically in their basement. So, is there any, let's say, did you run into any issues, or are you worried about having everything in the cloud and basically also outsourcing? In this case, to us, outsourcing a lot of the IT work and still manage to, let's say, own the gold in the company.
Yeah, I think we very much think that we still own the gold, and we feel even more secure that the gold is taken care of. I think we would not sleep better at night if we had our own hard disks running in the office with our own more or less competent people managing them. So in my mind, it's much better taken care of by the best people in the business, the Google guys, making sure that we have availability and reliability on the data. And I even have to admit that on our own laptops, we don't keep mission critical data there. Even that is always stored in the cloud. So we see cloud as the better option, and not like a trade-off that we have to compromise some parameters. And that's just kind of for the storage and the keeping of the data. But it also has the real goal is how we can analyze and use these data.
Yes, and also what we what we actually need is just the raw data, and we still keep the IP, and we are the ones doing the analysis, and we have full control of the data. So it's not, we don't have to own the company that runs the platform where we keep our data. We still have all control of the data and are able to utilize different tools and actually be more efficient in having it in the cloud, I think. So yeah, as you say, I think we're even more secure having it not on our laptops.
Yeah, obviously, I completely agree. We ran a lot of servers in our early years ourselves, and we know all about how risky that is actually. So, but I'm sure for those who's watching now, also myself, I would love to get a little bit of a sneak peek into the solution, and not. I know you're very enthusiastic about the data part. But maybe show a little bit about what is actually the customers getting and the end user. How does this gamification looks? Yeah. I'm really eager to see that.
Yes, so I will demonstrate a bit from one of our simulations. We're going to start right in the middle of the first module, actually, just to keep the momentum. So just before going into the sharing of the screen, I just want to also say that using these tools, it's very accessible for all employees in the company, and they can practice safe behaviors, they can practice safety culture, but still be in a secure environment. And at the same time, we gain insights on how the company perform in culture and where maybe the gaps are that needs improvement, but also where their strengths are. So it's very important for us as well. Okay, so let's see if I can. No, sorry. Okay, just to give you a bit of context, in this first module, you or me as the player is joining a new ship. So it's my first time on board, and I already talked a lot to a few colleagues, but also the captain, and gotten an impression on the culture in that specific ship. So here I am on my first watch, and it's going to be a bit intense, but this is a very critical moment for me to kind of make the right choices at the right time in order to be successful. Also, all the choices I made up to this point will impact how the outcome of this scene is. Okay, so let's just start.
Hello, sir.
Hi, and let's keep the chit-chat to a minimum. There's only the two of us, so we have to remain focused.
Very well, sir.
With one guy. And you can also see that you can click on the different stuff.
That's the VHF radio, set to channel 16.
You can also go and see a bit more on the view.
Our weather station. Weather stats and projections relayed through satellites that orbit the Earth. Incredible stuff.
So it's a bit funny as well. Or at least we think so.
It's better than PlayStation.
Yeah.
What in the seven hells are you doing, man? You do know that you're supposed to be the lookout, yes?
Yes, sir, but I...
You what? Don't talk back, just listen. You should be standing over there, looking out. Huh? Being the lookout and all?
Yes, sir, but I was trying to...
Trying? Trying to what? We're not here to try. We're here to do our jobs. And your job is to look out the window and make sure we don't run into anything. Is that too much to ask?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
And you, what kind of discipline is this? You need to be on top of these people, man. A lookout is supposed to look out. Clue is in the title. You're the officer on watch. That means you're responsible for making sure everyone is complying with standing orders at all times. And for that guy, that means looking out the window, nothing else. For you, it means making sure that guy is looking out the window. Ugh. I have to go down to my office and finish some paperwork. But now I'm almost afraid to leave the bridge. Please, don't make me regret it.
So all the choices I make, we also get data for every choice right back into our platform. And as you can see, the captain is a bit strict, so... Just
Damn!
Okay, it's not working. Okay, so here you see that we have to prioritize, and we're on a time limit, and a lot of things are happening. So here's really important to do the right thing, but I think that guy probably has something to say.
Sir, I just need one of those phone cards. Need to call home.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but I'm a little busy right now. Could you come back a bit later?
No worries, sir. I'll come back.
Gas fiction, sir. Yes?
Problem, sir. Lots of fishing vessels
And as you
port
can
and
see,
starboard.
for each
Shallow
choice
water
I
coming
make,
up.
you
Poor
get
visibility.
points.
We need help.
Okay. Oi. And the time ran out. So unfortunately, I wasn't that successful in playing this module. Yes, it's very good. And that's also the point of it, that you are being able to practice how to prioritize, how to build relationships, and how to actually fail in safe environments to learn from them at a later stage. So I'll just stop sharing now. And as you could see, all of the actions you take in the game will impact the outcome, but you also have the opportunity to build relationships. And if you talk to someone in the wrong way in the game, you will also maybe be more hesitant to come back and ask for help when you actually need it, because you're afraid of that person. So we're trying to make people train on culture and also on different cultural challenges, but in a safe environment. And at the same time, as I said, all the choices you make and how you do, all that data is going into our database. And then we also get insights on where the strengths are in the company, and also on where in the company we see maybe some improvement potential in working with culture. And also the scoring and the scores that you get creates a sort of friendly competition, I think. So it also increases the engagement for the people playing it. And you can compare it to the rest of your department or with other departments. And yeah, so that's something that creates engagement.
So basically the customer or the company that uses the solution, they get their employees to do this without too much pushing, actually, because people probably think it's quite fun, it's interesting, and as you say, all humans normally like to compete, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah, and I also think it's a new way of driving cultural change in a company. It's something that everyone gets on their own phone. You can work on it anywhere. You can do it offshore, on board, offline even, and still be able to practice. And what we also see in some of the companies that using the apps is that they people play together and try to solve it and try to not crash the ship. So you have to try it a few times for most people to actually be successful. Yeah, even us haven't gotten past that first module.
But so a lot of companies focus on safety management. So they invest in rules and procedure. They buy, protective equipment. They spend a lot of resources in ensuring that people are following the rules and procedures. But we are getting into the hearts and minds of people, and thereby creating a much more important change that actually has an impact on the safety level. And our data and our insights are actually able to kind of make that link. So that's, I think, the strength of SAYFR.
Yeah.
But yeah, and maybe a bit on the side here, but this could be utilized in a lot of different environments, I guess. So you have plans not just for what we saw now with on a ship, but immediately, at least in my head, I saw that there must be a lot of companies, a lot of, let's say, areas that this could be utilized.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's right. So even today on our platform, we have different industries. Our starting point was in the maritime industry, so that's where we have most customers. But we have heavy industries where accidents can be critical. We have looked at the health sector. The same notion of safety culture is important there. We have construction companies that are interested to look into this solution. So I mean, every industry where you will try to avoid accidents and you take incidents seriously are potential users. And what we also see, which is interesting, and because we are a small company, we need to focus. So we haven't kind of tackled the whole scope yet. But we see that when you are creating a better safety culture, you also enhance the innovation in the organization. You improve the engagement in the organization. So I think there are, many more applications of this, and being systematic in the way you work with culture that will have benefits far outside of the safety area. But that's kind of the next chapter.
Yeah. I noticed that you already are. You have moved. You mentioned your head office, and you started out here in Oslo, in Norway, but you have already moved out far outside of Norway. Has the cloud, or using the cloud, has that been a key component in such so that it made it possible for going so far outside of Norway so fast? Or?
Yes, definitely. So already today, 2/3 of our license revenues are from outside of Norway, and I think we when we set up the cloud solution, I think that the fact that Google has worldwide presence, and if needed, we could provide or provision endpoints very close to the customer. Also, things like the integrated language processing capabilities of the platform have been important. So although we have, we have large Norwegian companies like Hydro is on the platform, our two most recent signups were K-Line in Japan, one of the largest shipping companies in Japan, and Scorpio in the US, listed on the stock exchange there. So, going forward, I think it will be even more important for us to be able to meet the customer closer to their geographical presence. And when we look at the playing of the simulations now, it's all over the world. We have this kind of world map, and you see in Africa, in the Philippines, the playthroughs are popping up basically everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, because we are closing into the final here, so we can start to wrap up a little bit. But really interesting to hear. Obviously, I'm quite a big fan of the products itself. never been a big gamer, but gamification has always been something that that I think is super smart in the sense to engage the users, because we've been working with collaboration for many years, and to engage the end user is always the struggle. If you have to push them too hard, you don't get the right results and so on. So I think it's brilliant in that way what you have done here, and obviously it's also interesting to see that you can do all of this with large corporations, and they are super fine using your product even though you're on Google Cloud platform, and that not everything has to be locked down in a basement, which I agree with you on that. I wouldn't sleep at night either in that sense. So, but yeah, I don't know if you have anything you would like to add. I see there is some questions coming in, but anything you want to add before we jump to the questions, or have we?
No, I think we talked a little bit about you're always asking us how happy we are with the partnership with the cloud people and using the Google Cloud platform. So like I told you, I think the setup is very interesting for a company like ours. So we have the dedicated team. We have people that we kind of build a relationship and get to know, and they get to know our platform. So I think for us that model works very well. And even if we are also now building a bit more our own capabilities, we have expanded the partnership with you guys. So just to add that, I think we're still very happy with the choices we made 1.5 years ago, and it looks to be performing very well.
Yeah, and just having a team that has worked with us from day one, it helps us also to feel secure and safe, actually. So, and they know our product, they know what we want to do with our data.
Yeah, that's very good to hear, and obviously it's important to have in-house competence. But what we strive is that you can do this at the same time as you basically grow your own organization. So we have a lot of customers that is using the same let's say model, and it seems to be working fine. And then obviously from the sideline, I'm lucky, so I get to see all these cool products. So that's good. So but yeah, we can jump into a couple of the questions here. Let me see the first one here. So day to day, how does the SAYFR's IT team work with the cloud people to develop and maintain the cloud platform?
Yeah, so we have so day to day it's a setup with weekly meetings. We share kind of the joint roadmap software where we keep all of the development tasks, but also the bug fixing and certain maintenance tasks in one comprehensive view. And then we meet every week to prioritize what we need to work on, to see how the load is in terms of how quickly we can finish things, and even to discuss a little bit what kind of solutions would we want to apply for the various challenges that we are meeting. So that's kind of the core, and I think for our team in the cloud people, this is also the the sprint planning and how they are structuring their work. But in addition to that, we usually engage directly when it's something larger that needs to be discussed. So for instance, we had some security requirements from a new customer that went a little bit outside of the setup that we currently had at that time. And we discussed those requirements with your experts to see, okay, what would be the needed changes for our platform. And that's kind of more ad hoc, I would say, how we do that according to which customers we are in discussions with and which challenges we are facing. So it's quite it's very frequent contact. I think the team from Cloud People, we talk to very often, several times a week, actually.
Okay, yeah. We'll jump to the next one here. I guess this is maybe your field, Astrid. This is what kind of analytics are you using the platform to perform?
Yes, so of course we do a lot of like basic psychometric testing, where we actually use BigQuery to run queries and gather the data and create new tables that we can continue working on. But also one important thing with going into cloud is the availability of the different tools. And we are actually trying out machine learning for some of our data, which is very exciting. So that will, of course, be something we will continue doing in the times to come. But we have tried it out and we see that it works fine in the platform, and also to continue training it. So that's a kind of fun analysis to do. And then we are also actually looking into how we can create digital twins to see into the performance you need and to predict the cultural performance. So that is something that we, of course, need to do a lot more work on, but combining the different data sources and adding them all into a digital twin, and then be able to actually predict the performance in an organization, that will be like the next step on the analytics platform. And of course, we always run day-to-day analysis on advanced benchmarking, because every day we get new data, so we're updating that as well. So a lot of exciting things on the analytics front as well.
And the digital twin thing is, you know, I think it will also be very important, you know, that when 4 out of 5 accidents have a human error or a human failure as one of the root causes, and a lot of resources are spent on, you know, digital twins for the technical things and understanding the technical setup, but it's kind of a black spot on the map or a white spot on the map to understand how the culture and the people side is interacting to cause these accidents. I think that's you know, with all the data we have, that's a very exciting area of analytics.
I guess I have to start reading up on psychometric testing. Not going to ask you about that, but machine learning, definitely, it's yeah, I think there is a huge potential, and obviously on the Google platform, that's one of the strengths definitely that the Google has, and we have seen other companies really utilizing that. And also, actually, not that it sounds very expensive, but it's more work than it's the cost on the platform. So yeah. Well, we have time for one more, I think. So, what will happen going forward? How will you continue to develop the platform in the future? So this is very futuristic. What's the plans?
Yeah, so we will continue to scale the analytics platform as we grow. So when we sign up new customers, we're getting more data in. We can do more analysis, and as we have integrated also the kind of the machine learning into the flow, I think it's more and more things we can do with the current setup. But of course, as we develop our next generation of products, we are also looking into the opportunity to have the Google platform actually power the applications themselves. Today it's our partner Autensi who provides the gaming platform, and I think the capabilities of the Google Cloud Platform will enable us to also deliver things from ourselves that can connect into the ecosystem of analytics, dashboards, APIs to customers, and all of this. So we are looking to both expand, in the direction we're already going, but also kind of increase the scope of services that we are putting on the cloud.
Yeah, so basically what you're running or you're owning yourself, you will basically just include more and more on the platform there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that sounds like a sound strategy. So, but okay, if there is not any more questions here, I think we can start to wrap up. From my side and the cloud people, I'm super happy to have the chance to talk with you guys today. I hope that those that have been watching found it just as interesting. It's really cool to see how a company of your size can grow so fast, and actually with a product that it seems like the market is really enthusiastic about. So well, maybe we can meet in a year, and then probably the new demos will be completely different, I guess. So.
Thanks a lot for having us and for the opportunity to explain a little bit about how we are using the cloud and how we are actually moving even faster than we otherwise would have been by using the cloud.
Yeah.
And if somebody watching got a brilliant idea on how to utilize your platform, I guess they can just contact SAYFR immediately, and we'll discuss.
Please do, please.
Please do.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.